Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mike's Garage. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'd like to thank and welcome the new subscribers. I do appreciate everybody subscribing. I got a lot of nice comments coming on. Everybody can read them below. I did want to go over one thing. Was a couple questions about the training and what we did there. Um, One of the things that was, I guess, pretty scary was the hand grenades. Okay, so they teach you what to do with a hand grenade and all that. It's just not, you just get it and throw it. Okay. A hand grenade comes to you as it's a little bigger than a baseball, but it's elongated on each end. Okay, and it has a thin metal casing around it that's sealed in the middle. One end is open and it has threads. So you have this is the grenade. It's not armed, okay, it doesn't have a detonator. But inside, in the middle, is a charge. The charge is wrapped with 15, 20 feet of brass wire that's got a cut in it every quarter inch for the whole length of the 15 yards of wire that's inside the grenade wrapped around the charge. Okay, that has a thin metal casing that can very easily just be blown away. And what it does is for 15 meters, it throws out red hot pieces of shrapnel, if you will. So it had like a 15-meter kill range, or you really would get hurt really bad. Depends which way you were facing. If you got it in the back, if you got it in your legs. The best thing is to try to get down below the blast zone. I mean, you couldn't hear for hours. That was the training they got you. You get down below the blast zone, so the blast would go over your head. You never tried to run away from a grenade. You always tried to get the grenade into a hole or into a lower place, and then you hit the ground. There's nowhere to run. You only had a second or two by the time you saw the grenade. But anyway, the hand grenade comes to you, and it's about the size of a large egg. And one end is open and it's threaded. Now, the other thing that you have is you have a detonator. Now, the detonator has the handle on it with the pull pin and has a long shaft, and at the end of the shaft is the fuse and the detonator. The detonator will go off, and then that will detonate the charge that's inside the grenade itself. So you would get the detonator, screw it into the end, tight, finger tight. Now you got a grenade, and it has the handle on it with the pull pin, and you also those in it. You've all seen those in the movies where he grabs the pin and pulls it out, and then throws the grenade. Well, what happens when you pull the pin? You still have to hold on to the handle because the grenade, the safety mechanism, which is the pin, is now removed. So as soon as you let go and the handle pops off, what the handle does is the handle is holding down a hammer. And when the handle is released, the spring shoots the handle off, swings the hammer, and it hits the top of the fuse. And that lights the fuse, ignites the fuse. And the fuse will burn down to the detonator, which takes anywhere from 4 to 8 seconds, we were told. Anywhere from 4 to 8 seconds gets down to the detonator, which will go off, and then that will ignite the charge that's inside the grenade itself. So that's where you got the delay from, and that was how you removed the safety feature. So you could disarm the grenade by just unscrewing the fuse out of it. Now, the blasting cap that's the fuse is still very dangerous. I mean, that can go off and hurt you, and you've all seen people mess around with blasting caps. You have to put that into the C4. You have to put a blasting cap into dynamite and different kind of explosives to make it explode. Okay, so the grenade really wouldn't explode if you shot it with a bullet, unlike some of the things you see on the movies. Okay, you had to have the right detonator. So it used to come in a box. You used to get a box of grenades, and you used to get a box of detonators. They really didn't ship them armed like that. So you had to get the grenade. You had to put the fuse in the grenade, the detonator in, and you hang that on or put it in your pocket and do another one and do the same thing. If you wanted to take 2, 4, 6 grenades on patrol, then you had to go get the grenades and arm them yourself. It's just like packing a parachute. You loaded the ammo into the magazines yourself, because if it failed, it was on you. You had to do it right. They showed you how to do it right. This is how it works. Now, so you get a grenade, you arm it, and everybody's there. And what you do is they have a concrete bunker, and everybody is outside the bunker on the back side behind another wall. And the drill sergeant is in the bunker. Now he calls you in, you go in the bunker, and the wall's about up to your chin. Okay, it was up to my chin anyway. And he says, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hand you the grenade. Now, if we're going to pull the pin, and I'm going to say, fire in the hole, and you're going to throw the grenade as far as you can, and then we're both going to hit the ground. And everybody is going to get down, okay? Because when it goes off, it's a 15-meter grenade. I really don't know if these were training grenades or it really had any kind of shrapnel in it. It didn't seem that it did. It just made a really loud bang that I was aware of. Also, in the middle of the bunker was a hole. It was probably a foot across and probably 2 feet deep. Now, anytime you set up a defensive position, you had to have a hole like that. And what the hole was for is if somebody threw a grenade in on you, you had to get the grenade and put it in the hole, and then you would hit the ground next to the grenade. So when it blew up, it would blow up and not out. So all the charge and all the shrapnel would go up and into the sides of the hole, so you wouldn't get injured. Well, you wouldn't be able to hear for a couple days, but it was designed so that you wouldn't get hit with all the shrapnel, okay? So that was the whole thing. Now, it depends what you were up against. Some people said they had, the South Vietnamese had satchels with explosive charges in. A satchel is more like a backpack, and they would light the fuse, which is like a 10, 15-second fuse, and throw that at you or throw that near you. Was more intense than a grenade, and you had to try to hide that or get behind something, throw it behind something. You really didn't have time to go over and get the grenade, get ready, and throw it, because you only had like 1, maybe 2 seconds left on the whole thing. I mean, you saw the heroes in movies and stuff where they go and they fall on top of the grenade, or they take their helmet off and put their helmet on top of it and then fall on it. That really does work. I mean, I'm sorry, but you know, the guy does give up a lot to do that to protect everybody else. But if you can contain the blast and the shrapnel, it does help everybody around you for doing that. Really didn't encourage anybody to do that. They wanted you to get the grenade away and out of harm's way. It was in the hole. That was the best and fastest way to do it, to do that. So, okay. He comes up, he's in your face, he's right there. And he puts the grenade out, he gets your hands, and he puts the grenade in your hands, and he's holding on top of the grenade with your hands. Okay? So he says, okay, I'm going to let go. You're going to pull the pin. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Okay, right-handed, you stand this way. I'm going to stand this way. Okay, now, put your finger in the pin. Okay, grab the ring, because it has a ring on it, and it pulls the pin out. So you grab the ring and you pull the pin out, okay? And now the grenade is ready to go. As soon as you throw it, the handle is going to pop off of it with the spring. It's going to ignite the fuse. The fuse is going to burn for about 4 or 5 seconds, and then it's going to go off, okay? So what we want to do is we want to throw it as far as we can towards the enemy or at the enemy. The ideal situation is to have it explode 3 or 4 feet off the ground, or even higher than that, over the enemy, so it'll rain shrapnel on everybody. It'll get a bigger range, and it may not kill as many people, but it will wound the people and take them out of the fight. And that was one of the things that the Viet Cong, the Vietnamese, were so good at. They really didn't care if they killed, how many people they killed, because the habits the Americans had, if you wounded somebody, there was at least 1, maybe 2 other people will go help that person to get that person to safety, or to get that person so they wouldn't die, to help save their life. Okay, so if you were overmanned 10-1, what you wanted to do is you wanted to wound as many Americans as you could, because then more Americans would stop fighting to help the guy that was wounded. So that was their strategy. That's why you saw so many people wounded. That's why the mines were designed the way they were, just to wound and maim and just do serious damage to people. Some people did get killed with the mines if they were too close, but it was designed to hurt as many people as possible. So then the medics and one or two other guys, their buddies, would go to help them, which is just human nature that you want to go do that, okay? But that was the goal. So back to the hand grenade. So you pull the pin, and we only really got to throw one hand grenade in training. So that was the extent of the training was, here's how it works, here's how you arm it, here's how you disarm it. They really don't recommend that you try to put the pin back in, okay? If you pull the pin, yeah, you could probably put it back in. I wouldn't trust that. If you put a pin back in, then you got to take the detonator out of the cylinder just to be safe. Because if the blasting cap went off, which was the fuse, then it would hurt you, but it wouldn't detonate your grenade. Like I said, the grenade had to be detonated with the charge that was in the blasting cap. So that's pretty much how it was. So that was one of the trainings we did about how to take it apart, how to put it together, how to properly use it, what to do to defend against it. It's all pretty interesting training. I mean, luckily I never had to use it. I never really threw a grenade at anybody or had to evade a grenade. We did have a couple satchel charges that went off outside the wire. We had some guys try to get through the wire and set off flares, and you just return fire, chase them away. I'll tell you another thing about the perimeter, how that was set up. But appreciate the comments. You can read some of the stories below. I'm getting some really good comments about some other stories I want to cover. But thanks for watching Mike's Garage. Please subscribe and go to our Redbubble store. I'll put the address up there. Go there. We have some Mike's Garage kind of things there. Help support us. Okay. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching Mike's Garage. Please subscribe. See you next time. Bye.